Hi folks, Nathan here from the ebookreader.com. I'm going to go ahead and give you guys a review of the InkBook Obsidian for this video. This is a new Android powered e-reader that was just released in Europe from Artatech at onyxbook.com. It sells for €145. That's with VAT included, I believe, and then it sells for £99 on Amazon UK. So this, like I said, it's an Android powered e-reader. It's the first of its kind to have this new flush front screen here. And it also has this case that you can buy separately. It's sort of got like the book texture to it, and it's got like a rubbery edge. Let me get a better look here. So yeah, it's got that rubbery edge and the texture to it. The only thing about this cover, it's really nice and fits really snug. The only thing is it doesn't turn the screen on and off automatically. It doesn't have the auto sleep feature. It does fold back nicely, but let's go ahead and take it out of the case and let me show you. Out of the cover, it's got the soft coating on the back, that soft texture that's pretty common on e-readers. It's got the rounded edges, and like I said here, it's got this flushed glass front screen. One cool thing about it though is it's the only one that incorporates these page buttons along with the front glass. So I mean, e-readers are starting to do this now. The Kobo Aura was the first, and like the Kindle Voyage came next, and now the Nook Glow Light Plus, they all have this flushed glass screen now. That's really nice actually as far as e-readers go, but this is the only one that adds the actual physical page buttons on the side here, whereas the Voyage has the page sensors, of course. So then up here on the top edge, we've got a micro SD card slot, the USB port, and the power button. So this device is a lot like the Energy eReader Pro that I reviewed earlier in the year, which is based on the Bowie T62. So this software is basically the same as that. The one difference with this device is it does not have audio support. There's no headphone jack or anything like that, no speakers. So it's strictly an e-reader. Alright, so like most e-readers nowadays, this device, it comes equipped with a front light, and something about the glass screen, it really makes it look quite good actually. There's only one thing about this front light, and it sort of has like a shadowy area at the top edge up there, especially in that right corner. So all front lights seem to have some shadowy areas except for the Voyage. They all seem to have a little bit of unevenness as far as the color goes, but this one, it really does have a good even color all the way throughout the main reading part, except for at the top. Usually those shadowy areas a lot of times are at the bottom of the screen, but this particular device, it's actually at the top with that flush glass screen right there. So overall the screen does look quite good. It doesn't have the 300 pixel per inch screen like some of the new e-readers. This one has the 1024 by 758 resolution. That's 212 pixels per inch. So looking at the screen, I never really think that it needs to be sharper. It actually looks really good to me as far as text goes. Like I said, the front light just has a little bit of a shadowy area at the top. So we've got the page buttons on each side to turn pages, like I was saying earlier, and it's got this lighted thing down here, this lighted circle. This is actually the back button. It's not a button though, it's a sensor. It kind of reminds me of the Nook Glow Light Plus because it has that sensor below the screen. With the Nook Glow Light Plus though, it takes you to the home screen. This one's a back button. Alright, so like I mentioned, this device, it runs Android 4.2. You can install Android apps. It does not come with Google Play. You could probably root it and install it because, like I said, it's based on the Bowie T62 firmware, similar to that in a lot of ways. We got the user-defined section up here where you can set up some customizations. You can set your EPUB reader. It uses two different kinds. You got the Adobe Reader and the FB Reader. You got different options for those page buttons you can set right here. So if you wanted the page forward with the left button, you could set it to reverse. So normally a page is back with left and page is forward with the right. Only thing I'm disappointed with is there's not a setting in here for the volume buttons. On the T62, it had a setting in here for volume buttons, and then it made it so that the page buttons worked with most e-reading apps because they were set to work with the volume buttons. But that doesn't work with this device for some reason. It needs to be updated because these page buttons pretty much only work with the built-in e-reading apps. They don't work with any side-loaded apps. I mean, they work with a couple of apps, like I think it worked with Cool Reader, but for the most part, these volume buttons, these side buttons, only work with the actual default reading app. So let's go ahead and load up an ebook. So it uses FB Reader and Adobe Reader. Like I said, you can set those in that user-defined section right here. And as far as the text goes, I do really like how it lays out text. It looks really good. You've got some different settings in here. If we tap in the center of the screen, we bring up the settings menu, and we've got different sections. This section is for navigation. You can jump to different parts of the book. You can actually just enter a specific page number, and then you can use the next and back buttons as well. If we go down here, we get the font settings. So we've got a bunch of different font sizes. You can just adjust it by hitting this, and it uses the system fonts for Android. So we've got fonts. So we've got a bunch of different font choices in here. I'm not sure how to add fonts. You probably have to root it to be able to get access to the system font folder to be able to sideload fonts, but we've got quite a few options in here as it stands. You can also choose the text to be normal or bold. I really like bold. If you look at normal, it's very light. The bold obviously looks a lot better. We got these number of line spacing options and margin settings. So we got the usual sort of layout options that you would have with you'd expect from an ebook reader. We don't have a whole lot of advanced settings though, as far as like some other e-readers like a Kindle or a Kobo. They're going to have more advanced settings because they're more optimized for it. But as far as this device goes, it has an auto page feature, which is something unique you don't get for very many e-readers. You can set it to turn pages between 10 and 80 seconds automatically. We got just the page turn style here, so you can set speed as a priority and it will turn pages a bit faster, and it won't refresh the screen as often. The page turns are pretty quick. You can hold down the button and it will scan through the pages. So you've also got the usual, you know, the on-screen stuff. If you hold down on a word, you get the annotations, the highlight options. You can bring up the dictionary, which uses quick dictionary. So then over here we've got the screen rotation. If you wanted to switch it over to landscape mode, we can go ahead and use landscape. You can still use the page buttons if you don't want to swipe. Then that last tab over here, this is for the book information. It tells you EPUB, tell you how big it is, the author, and the title. And then we got a couple other things up here. You can add bookmarks. We can go ahead and bring up the table of contents, which will open up this window, and it's got these nested folders here. You can also access your bookmarks and highlights from there. So that's basically a look at how the ebook, the default ebook engine works, the default app. I think that's the FB Reader app. You also got the Adobe Reader. So then, like I said, you can install a number of other e-reading apps. I'm not going to go into a lot of showing these, but you can install Cool Reader, you can install Moon Plus Reader. They do take some setup because they're not optimized for e-ink by default. So these apps, they're available from the Minneapolis App Store, which is already on this device when you get it. It doesn't come with the Google Play Store or anything. You could probably root it and add that if you wanted to, but you can go ahead and check out this built-in store to get like your e-reading apps. It's got some e-reading apps in here. The only thing is that I couldn't get the Kindle app to install. It goes through the whole process and then doesn't install. So I sideloaded the Kindle app. It doesn't work that great though. I would not recommend this for reading Kindle books. I mean, it can do it on the fly, but page turns really aren't that reliable. For some reason, it basically wants you to swipe across the whole screen, which is kind of annoying. And like I said, the page buttons don't work with this app. For whatever reason, they did with the Buoy T62. So I mean, it's just a matter of a firmware thing that needs to be added, and they can make it so that the page turn buttons would work when you enable volume page turn buttons in settings. So that is a possibility. I don't know why they don't have it enabled. So a lot of things. One thing I noticed with this, trying to use this app, is it doesn't seem to respond a lot. It's like you tap on something and it seems to take, I don't know, a really long time, as you can see in the load. But what I was saying with the Kindle app, as you can see, it does load, it does work. Once you sideload it, I couldn't get the one from the App Store to work. One problem though is that the page turns are kind of wonky. So normally if you're just like sitting here holding your device, you want a page turn like that. It doesn't always work. It might bring up the settings, or it might just sort of kind of half turn the page. A lot of times I go like this, and then it will just sort of bring up the settings, or it'll half turn the page. So you really need the volume buttons for this app to be effective. It just doesn't work that great. It pretty much doesn't work that great on any Android e-reader because it's designed for tablets. It's not optimized for ink at all, so it's not set up to work that great. So another mainstream popular app that you can install is the Kobo app, and it works better than the Kindle app, but the app just isn't that good. I mean, you only got 2 font choices in the layout. I don't know, it's just not that great. It's much better on a dedicated Kobo e-reader. So I mean, you're much better off if you want to read Kindle books or Kobo books, just actually getting a dedicated device for that. I mean, a device like this, these Android e-readers, they can install the apps, but as you can see, they aren't optimized for ink, so they take a long time to load a lot of times, and they're not that great of a reading experience compared to a dedicated device. Like a dedicated Kobo is going to be much better. Going to work much better than that. Going to work much better than you see here. So you don't have very many font choices. You just got 2 fonts and a few font sizes in the layout. isn't very good compared to what a Kobo eReader offers. Kobo eReaders offer all kinds of layouts, so you can't change the justification or anything. So it's kind of a weird layout the way the book lays out on the Kobo Android app. I'm not a fan of it. Personally, I think it's more designed for phones, for the smaller screens. So this device, this is the home screen, of course. This is your main screen. You can also view your book list. What this basically is just a file manager. You can view your books in folders, so that's one advantage with your Android devices. You can set everything up in different folders. If you like having your books set up in folders and working with Calibre and that kind of stuff, it does make it easier. Alright, so another format this device supports is PDF. So it's mainly like EPUB and PDF with these main default apps. Of course, you can install other apps. I'm pretty impressed actually with the PDF Reflow. So what you're looking at right here is PDF Reflow. And it does a really good job. You can see the images are retained, the formatting is retained with lists. It actually works really well. This is one of the best reflows I've actually seen in recent memory. So I do like the reflow on this device. So you can use this boldness dial right here to make it the text darker. I already have it maxed out. You can increase the font size because it's reflowing, so that's the main advantage using reflow, is that you can increase the font size. So this is what the PDF looks like by default without the reflow option. So you can do custom zoom. You can use the custom zoom dial. You can like try to get rid of the margins and whatnot. So that's what I started out with, the clip margin feature. And then I would just try the auto clip margin. It'll get rid of them a little bit. You can do the manual clip margins, where you can draw on the screen where you want the where you want it to crop exactly. As you can see the lines right there, you got to line them up with exactly where you want. Hit OK, and then you can zoom in that way. But the way the reflow is working so well, I was just using that because it retained the formatting. It was looking good. I was surprised by that actually. So we can go ahead and increase the font size here with reflow. And as you can see, it's a lot easier to read than the regular default layout. Obviously this is going to be a bit hit or miss depending on your PDF, but as far as this PDF goes, I mean, the reflow is very impressive actually. Got all the images and the layouts all retained, and you got the text a lot easier to read, so that's pretty cool. So one thing that's weird about these devices, they always put every kind of format that they support here on the list, so you get this like weird log. You'll get any kind of text file that you add to the device will show up here. Some apps will create logs and files and they'll end up showing here, so it's kind of weird. I wish they could add a way to filter that stuff out. As it stands, you can customize some aspects there. So like on the home screen here, if we go down to customize the desktop apps, we can change these, because if we don't want to use the Medapolis app drive or the storage, whatever, the drive here, we can go ahead and hit the button here to go ahead and change it to whatever app we want. So if we wanted like a book link there, or it's already on the home screen actually, so we could just scroll through here. If we wanted to add, say you wanted to add Moonreader to the home screen, then you could go ahead and do that, and then that would be at your home screen down here instead of that drive link. Alright, so like I said, you can install Android apps out of the box. It makes the device more of an ultimate e-reader. You can use it for things like RSS feeds, web reading, so it makes it more of a complete reading device. But you just got to keep in mind that a lot of these apps aren't designed specifically for e-ink, so it just sort of depends on this individual app how well it's going to work for e-ink. So this particular app works quite well actually. The Feedly app, if you wanted to have an RSS reader on here, you could have the Feedly app. Works quite well, and it's available in that app store, of course. So this device, one cool thing is it's got the auto partial refresh, so when you start to scroll, everything's nice and smooth. It doesn't do the constant flashing that you will get on some devices. So this device, it comes with 8 gigabytes of storage space. It has about 5.5 usable. You can also add a micro SD card. They're supposed to be supported up to 32 gigabytes, I believe. So most of these apps come preloaded except for the Kindle, the Kobo, and Cool Reader and Moon Plus and Feedly. Those are the ones I sideloaded. The rest of these are the preloaded stuff. You got a news app, notepad. We've got the email app. If you want to set up email on here, you can read and send your emails. And then the file manager app comes included, so that helps. It's basically just a basic file manager app, but you can install like a ES File Explorer if you wanted something more advanced. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this video review right here. Check out the eBookReader.com for some additional info. I have the written review posted with some more info on that, and I also have some comparisons as well. So if you guys want to check that out, It's on the ebookreader.com. And if you guys like these videos, please subscribe. You guys have a good day, and thank you for watching.